Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we have concerns.
Yeah.
We have concerns about the Chris Pratt situation. We've been covering this. We've done probably 3 or 4 videos over the course of the last couple months.
This keeps getting crazier and crazier.
Yeah, how it has escalated is just, it's absolutely insane. So we're going to dip back in on that. We're going to talk about the Pratt situation because it is very concerning, and you should
it's indicative of what we're seeing.
Right, the polarization of this country, but beyond that, the need to publicly support a particular party if you want to continue to work.
Yeah, sounds a lot like,
another party.
Re-education centers.
You will be re-educated by Twitter. And what is even more shocking to me in the last couple days, that there have been some fairly prominent YouTubers that have come forward and basically they're demanding that Pratt make a statement too. And these are YouTubers that used to be about freedom of speech, and they're not.
Here's the thing. Again, I will say it again. He doesn't owe you a statement. Nobody owes you a statement. Nobody owes you anything. You can vote for who you want to. You don't owe me. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell anybody who you voted for unless you want to. If you don't want to, you have that right because it's flipping America, and you're allowed to, vote who you want for, and say what you want. And the fact, what I'm concerned about is this trend is trying to bully, censor, manipulate, etc., to make sure people only vote the way they want. So if they get their way, it's like we're going to bully you until you tell us what we want to hear. So there is no choice. But this is Twitter, which is like a tiny percent of the actual population of America.
Yeah, and there are shocking parallels between what's going on right now and over in China, where you have to publicly praise the party or you get sent to a re-education camp. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it happen in real time. And it seems like such a non-issue. Like, well, so what? An actor doesn't want to, give an opinion one way or the other about politics because they'd rather everybody watch their movies.
Remember when it used to be about just making good movies and entertainment, and you had your opinions, but you didn't have to say them if you didn't want to, and you can vote how you wanted to because that's a freedom and choice in America?
Yeah, well, we have some people, I think, that don't quite understand what liberty is about.
Well, they go on about fascists. I'm just saying, certain groups act very, very much like that. And it's not the people they keep pointing fingers at.
So, Katherine Schwarzenegger, who is Chris Pratt's wife, daughter of Arnold Schwarzenegger, she publicly has gone on record and saying she's voting for Biden. Mm-hmm. But she's also defending her husband. Now, to back this up a little bit, how this insanity got started was Chris Pratt dared. Now, they've been kind of after him for things for the last couple of years now, but he dared like a month or so ago on Instagram to make fun of the election and how ridiculous everything is.
They're mad because he goes to a church they don't like.
Right.
Because like I said, don't you know, it's only Christians, all Christians apparently, according to Twitter, that are the only ones who are against LGBTQ, even though there's lots of religions that are, and all Christians aren't.
So because Pratt would not come out and say exactly where he was at politically, he would not renounce his church, he wouldn't give them the ammo they wanted. They went after him again. There were hit pieces written saying, hey, he needs to just come out and say he's Republican already. And it got so bad that his co-stars from the MCU went to bat for him on Twitter. And a lot of these people probably are polar opposites politically, but they vouched for his character. They said he's a good guy, leave him alone. He doesn't owe you.
You mean back like you can disagree, but you're friends and you know the person and you know them, so they're not these monsters that Twitter makes them out to be? You mean like back in the day where you can disagree and it was fine?
Yeah, by back in the day, you mean like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So you thought, okay, that'll put the rest. They're basically trying to call off the Twitter outrage mob. Well, it blew up. In their own faces because they were attacking Zoe Saldana, calling her racist names. They were attacking Mark Ruffalo, who's clearly one of quote unquote them. And they were calling them out, and it was a huge mess.
Can we see your true colors shining through?
Yes.
That's why we hate you. Go ahead, sorry.
But this all got started because of a Twitter outrage mob. Again, Twitter is the catalyst for 95% of this divisive bullshit.
And there's such a tiny percent of the population. They've done research. They said the extremists, like the ones you see making up Twitter, make up such a tiny percent of not only the party, but of Twitter and the country in general. It's ridiculous. But they're the ones out there doing all this, trying to force people to make choices. It's not their business. It's not their place. They need to sit down and shut up, because you know what? All you're doing is turning people who might have agreed with you against you. A lot of people are turning against you. And if you just sat there and let people make their own choices and give them your case, say, here's what we think, the way we think, and then, let people decide for themselves, you wouldn't be losing the people you're losing, because people are tired. When you tell somebody to choose, they're usually going to choose against you.
Well, that, I think, is what's going on in Pratt's case, or he just doesn't want to get political anyway.
We didn't want everyone to get political till we had to. So even then, we try to keep it neutral.
Yeah, we try to. So there are accusations he's a Trump reporter, and he said in 2017 he doesn't feel fully represented by either side.
That's how we always feel. I don't like either candidate, but, it is what it is.
But now here's where it gets interesting. CNN reported that in 2012, he donated to Obama's campaign, which would suggest more of a Democratic leaning.
Or maybe he just liked Obama.
Could be.
Because, you're allowed to not align with your party every damn time. You do know that, right? You're allowed free thought and choice.
No, you're not.
But that's what Twitter's trying to stop. Twitter's trying to stop free thought and choice. They're trying to bully and coerce people into voting the way they want them to, so they'll leave you alone. It's basically like paying protection money. If you vote the way we want and give a statement, and we're that desperate that they're so afraid, they must be afraid they're going to lose. Because why else would you act this way? Desperate people act in desperate ways.
Yeah. It's insane. So either way, his wife, Catherine, was unimpressed about how her husband was dragged. She's actually supporting Biden.
Unimpressed as well, Catherine.
Yeah, she says, this is what we really need right now. There's so much going on in the world, and people are struggling in so many ways.
Amen.
Being mean is so yesterday. There's enough room to love all these guys. Love is what we all need, not meanness and bullying. Let's try that.
Yes, Catherine.
Yes.
Voice of reason.
This is Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter, by the way. Incidentally, and not that it really matters.
It doesn't really matter.
Catherine herself is a vocal Biden fan. She publicly called a tweet by Donald Trump trash after it looked to diminish the risk of coronavirus. She has reportedly openly said she'll be voting for Biden and Harris on election day on November 3rd. But, she's not Chris Pratt, and she's not privileged.
Yeah, because, living in a van. Yeah, everybody keeps calling about Chris Pratt being privileged. The dude lived in a van. He's so flippin' privileged.
We're going to talk about
He also does stuff for charity all the time. I know he was doing the Ice Bucket Challenge. He was at hospitals with Chris Evans and other MCU people. He goes around doing charity stuff. I can't.
Yeah, and he actually got his start. Now people were going to accuse him of being a white supremacist or a racist. I think it was Ray Don Chong actually gave him his first movie role. I remember that she found him in a diner or something. Mm-hmm. And that's, but yeah, he was living in a freaking van.
So privileged.
Yeah, so he was selling coupons at age 19. Actually, his stories aren't too dissimilar from my own story. When I was that age, I was kind of all over the place too. But I digress. It's a place of privilege. According to Phil DeFranco, big YouTuber, millions of subs. Phil DeFranco's basically calling Chris Pratt out, but not actually saying who it is. In 2020, when someone says, I don't talk politics, I'm not political, are you that's fair, that makes sense, or do you think it's a rather telling privileged position for someone to be in?
Oh, bullshit. You don't have to talk politics because, quite frankly, it's your choice. It's your right. And the fact that Twitter keeps trying to bully and coerce people into giving statements and Donald, you can't, because if you do, and you say, even if you say most everything correct, you say one thing wrong, they're still going to cancel you. So it doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, does it really effing matter if Twitter cancels you? Because hardly anybody even cares about Twitter, except for the people on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean the responses are not. I mean, he's really getting the shit kicked out of him on Twitter.
Good, he deserves it.
Some people are like, I'm definitely left wing, but I'm tired of it too.
Yeah, I mean, well, we always lean left, and we're just so sick to death of it at this point. And I'm so tired of this coercive, bullying, dictator-like behavior we're seeing out of these people on Twitter. And I'm sorry for all you're just bullies, you're just haters. The ones who are acting like big bullies and haters and bigots and racists and sexist and all those things are these people on Twitter. Look up the definition of what these words mean. You probably find Twitter's picture right there.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's why we had this discussion, yesterday about Twitter. I think, at least for the foreseeable future, given the state of things, I think we're gonna kind of rest Clownfish TV's Twitter account because I think things are gonna get really bad in the next couple of weeks.
Well, from where I stand at this point, if the worst insult I can probably give somebody that means that they're racist, sexist, bigoted, trash is "you're so Twitter."
Yeah, pretty much. And Twitter, I think, is to blame for a good majority of the divisiveness in the country right now. It magnifies crazy.
But them and these media outlets, media's in quotes.
Yeah.
I mean, the news, let's be honest here. The news is a joke. It's owned by parties, not by, people who just want to report the truth. And that's across the board. I don't care which side you're on. It's crap. And extremism is rampant on both sides. And it's not okay. Most people don't lie in the extremes. But by being so extreme all the time, all you're doing is pushing people the other way. You're missing your point. You're going to lose based on the fact that you're being so ridiculous. Maybe if you took your energy and instead of, having these little mini meltdown shit cancellation witch hunts on Twitter, and you actually took, your energy out to the street to actually do good. If you truly believe in the things that these parties stand for, go do good things in the name of your party. Like, go help at places. Go promote positivity. Go do those kind of things.
Yeah, you would think. You would think that's what they do. It's so weird. They're calling out Phil DeFranco now for being privileged. It's like his net worth is $12 million.
Well, there's that one person that was rich who was going on about how we should have socialism because they're poor, and it turned out they were rich. Who was that again?
I don't remember. But I know
yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, who defended Pratt, by the way. Mark Ruffalo was even like, yeah, socialism. I'm like, dude, they're going to take your money first and redistribute it. If you're okay with that, then whatever.
Then go ahead and just give your money to those people.
Give your money.
Fine, do it. It's up to you.
Most of the political people are actually rich or middle class people. Most poor people ain't tweeting about Pratt, you dunce.
That's true. And a lot of people that are out there having a meltdown over racism, sexism, isms, and phobes are usually white people. A lot of times white women.
Shut the fuck up, YouTube money. Speaking of which, another YouTuber like this, I saw this yesterday about fell out of my chair because we actually do cite her sometimes on this channel.
Well, we only cited her one time, I think, once or twice. Another time we mentioned it in the Pedro Pascal thing, but we just said because she mentioned it first, not because we follow her.
No,
I don't really know her. From what I've seen stuff she says that I was like, but this one, whatever.
Well, it gets better. So she's like, I'm not going to touch the Chris Pratt thing, but I'd advise some damage control. Damage control for what?
I'm not going to touch it as I'm touching it.
Yeah, right? Then she goes on to say, I will say his coworker shouldn't defend him. He did this to himself.
Did what to himself? When you say, what did he say? Nothing. He didn't say anything. That's the point.
And I want to talk about that because this is where it's gone off the fucking rails. That, it's gone from like giving an unpopular political opinion, backing an unpopular candidate, to if you say nothing, you're complicit in every horrible thing that's wrong with this country.
Well, Hollywood is, certain people in political positions, both sides, are complicit in a lot of bullshit. They have turned their head against a lot of things, Epstein's Island and other things, and they said nothing. And how come no one's canceling all them now? And there's a lot of people on this list. Where's the cancellations for all them? They were complicit. They said nothing. All those people, that's fine because they're the right kind of people.
Decades. Harvey Weinstein got away with it for decades.
But he was the right kind of person at the time.
When he gets caught, you disavow him. I'm going to talk about that too, because it's very interesting that we're having this part of the conversation. They're like, seems like she's touching the debacle.
Exactly. I'm not going to touch this, but I'm going to go on about, for a whole bunch of posts about it.
No, he has to speak out and let everyone know where he stands or this won't go away.
No, he doesn't, Grace Randolph. He doesn't have to do anything.
It's because blue checks like you keep it going on Twitter. That's why it's not going
that's because she's trying to get some hits and be relevant.
Well, right after she has this big kind of meltdown about Chris Pratt, why he has to give
I know. This is hilarious.
He gives, and she's like, hey, he pushes a lot of stuff on Instagram. Okay, then don't follow him. Hey, everybody, I'm joining Rooster Teeth. I'm joining Rooster Teeth. Some of my videos, especially reviews, will be available on their website in addition to YouTube.
They are. This tells me Rooster Teeth is desperate to go this far. They have to be really desperate for hits.
Great group of people. We're having so much fun already.
Well, too much fun has been what got them in trouble.
Yeah. So, and I was just talking to Harvey Weinstein. Rooster Teeth is best known for all of the sex scandals they've been involved in over the last couple weeks, so I wouldn't really brag about that.
No, we need to deflect. Hurry, let's put a woman in as our shield. And they have a lot of women over there. But I'm just saying.
Yes, they do have a lot of women over there.
No, I mean for real. There's a lot of girls on those shows too. But I just think of all people, you're gonna try to do something to help yourself. Your go-to is Grace Randolph? What the literal hell? I mean, I just can't even figure out the logic behind this one.
Well, I think it's I don't know. But look, if you want to know why I think she's going so hard in on throwing Chris Pratt under the bus,
she has to flag pander for Rooster Teeth.
Rooster Teeth, which is owned by Warner Media. So now we've got a movie reviewer literally owned by a studio, by the way. And beyond that, Warner Media.
They've been owned by studios, if we're being honest. I mean, if we're going to be fair and honest, they've been owned by studios.
But we've also got Warner Media, which just went all in on BLM. They just worked out a deal with the BLM co-founders. So we know where their politics are. So again, this is all about.
But she's white.
But she's got to say the right things, and so does Chris Pratt, or else.
Or she'll get canceled because she's white.
Yes. So again, this reminds me of what, and Hollywood, we talk about Hollywood and China all the time. This reminds me of what you have to do in China. You have to praise the party or they will take your job. They'll cancel you. But
at that point, you have no choice other than their choice at all times.
Then that's not
so
freedom.
There is no democracy. There is no choice. You have no choice. If they get their way, Twitter gets their way, and they keep being allowed to behave the way they're behaving. Basically, they're going to try to cancel and bully people so that they coerce you into having no choice.
Hide news stories. It could be potentially damaging to the party. I mean, look, the parallels between what's going on with Twitter and the Twitterati and the Twitter outrage mobs and what's going on in communist countries. I'm just saying.
Well, even sometimes the behavior you're seeing on them doesn't even reflect the party. No. I mean, it just reflects the opinions of these people on Twitter.
Right.
And then it gives the parties a bad look, too. And it's just dumb. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, vote for who you want to vote for. If you want to vote for Biden, vote for Biden. If you want to vote for Trump, vote for Trump. It's up to you. It's your choice. You do not owe it to me. You do not owe it to Twitter to tell anybody who you voted for unless you want to. You shouldn't have to be coerced into voting for a certain person or claiming allegiance to a certain person just to shut wackadoo bullies up on a social media platform. Do what you feel right doing, and it's your choice and it's your right, and they don't get to tell you what you can and can't do.
Yeah, that's true. And this is going to catch on. This apolitical thing, I think, is going to catch on, especially after this year. I think things are going to go batshit crazy, for sure. So we're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk to you guys later.